So, okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and move on to our next question, which is from friend of the channel, Mr. Matthew Murr. Okay, and Matthew Murr says here we go. How do you feel about the very fact that Disney owns Star Wars in the first place? Okay. A lot of fans, I think, are going to be pretty passionate about this one.
Yes.
He goes on to say, I'm personally okay with it, but I think there are certain franchises like Harry Potter and Doctor Who that Disney should not get its hands on. Matthew, how do I feel about Disney owning Star Wars? Here's my thing. Despite some disappointments, and there has been disappointments, I haven't been 100% on board with Star Wars. There's been quite a few things I'm like, ooh, you know? But Lucas was going to sell it regardless. Like, he wanted out. He wanted to retire. He wanted, you know, to move on. He was going to sell it. If you're going to sell it, I think Disney was the right choice. Mistakes and all. And the reason why I say that is, you know, Lucasfilm already had a relationship with Disney via Star Tours. We already have a presence in the parks with Star Tours. And I just feel Star Wars, I got to say, I feel Star Wars is a very Disney property. It's something that, like, look, the music, the fairy tale aspect, the cowboy Western aspect, all of these things, this grandiose kind of saga, the storytelling, it's just all very Walt Disney to me. It is. It always felt very Disney to me. And I know a lot of fans that will probably disagree with me on this. I get a lot of comments about how, like, Star Wars isn't really Disney and it doesn't feel like Disney. And I respect that. I don't know, though. I feel like it's very Disney. And I think it's a kind of a perfect marriage. In that marriage, there are bumps in the road and there's issues and some problems, like with any relationship, right? But I think that overall, if any company is going to own it, Disney's the best fit. Who else, if not Disney, who else would you have wanted to own Star Wars? Warner Brothers? Because they did so great with the DC stuff? No, I'm good. I am good. Even Universal, man. A lot of their stuff, we're seeing a lot of production problems right now with Fast and Furious. They're not super great on the film side. I think Disney is the best studio. If you're going to pick any studio to own this franchise, it was Disney. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. It's like, who else would you want owning this thing? Because George Lucas, I mean, you know, look, I have great respect for the man, but, you know, and I consider him a god or a legend in the entertainment world. But let's be honest, he's not going to be around forever. So this is going to have to pass off to a brand at some point. Who would it be? If there's any studio that's you know, made things live infinitum, even past their creators, it's gonna be Disney. That's who that's gonna be, and who's gonna do it well, right? But you also get the verticals. You get the what is it?
Theme parks
again? Yeah, theme parks, right? But that synergy with theme parks, right? That synergy with, you know, the TV aspect or the, I should say, the streaming aspect, right? You're not gonna exactly pew pew pew. You're not gonna get that really with any other studio out there on quite the same level as you can with a Disney. Disney already had Star Wars properties in their parks. You know, it makes sense. And look, I understand. Listen, some people are really against Disney owning Star Wars, but it was going to go to a studio anyway, and it might as well be Disney. And honestly, the only reason why a lot of those things didn't pan out was bad leadership at that time. Right. It doesn't mean that leadership or that constant will be there infinitum, you know, going forward in perpetuity. Leadership changes, and you know, people who can you know, do, you know, right the wrongs of previous you know, leadership, you know, that can happen, right? So I think we're just at the very beginning of Disney owning Star Wars, and the potential is still there to do amazing things with it, as long as you have passionate people attached with it. And honestly, Disney's probably the best place for that. So I think people have some issues short term, but I think long term, I think it's still the best place for it to be.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I know a lot of fans are not a huge, they're not big on Kathleen Kennedy, right? And I've
included.
actually, yeah. Rumor has it a lot of fans don't like Kathleen Kennedy, and I used to actually defend her quite a bit. Past few years though, I'm kind of over it. I feel like Star Wars needs a new direction. They need new leadership. I'm all in on like Jon Favreau kind of running the studio at this point. But like in terms of like to kind of solidify your point, Dre, like you said, like the leadership issues are temporary. They absolutely are temporary. Like Kathleen Kennedy is hey, look, she's getting older. She's more than likely going to retire. Yeah, within a few years. Yeah. You're going to have new people in there. Could be Favreau, for all we know. Could be Filoni, for all we know. So yeah, I think while the leadership issues and the choices haven't been 100% great, to say the least, I still think Disney owning it is the right call. I think it's a good marriage for them. It fits Disney very well. It's a good home for Star Wars, and I think that we will eventually get the leadership that fans are kind of craving for. Because again, I think like honestly, like within 5 years, I think Kennedy's going to retire. Maybe after Indy 5, I don't know. We'll see. But I think she's kind of coming towards the end of her tenure over there, in my opinion. And I have no inside information. I'm just kind of giving you how I feel about it.
Yeah. No. I mean, you're right. And I mean, look at some of the other Star Wars product that Disney has produced, right? I mean, Galaxy's Edge, yes, there are shortcomings to it, but holy cow, like that was done to an exceptional degree, even with its flaws. And you have things like The Mandalorian that are almost universally praised by all segments of the fandom, right? So there is, even with it being under Disney, there still is a lot of upside to that. We've seen it, we've experienced it, and as long as they go towards those directions and not, handing it off to the next director without necessarily a plan, I think it will have been a great buy by Disney in the long run, and for Star Wars and the future of Star Wars, because this is gonna outlive George Lucas, and who better to do that than Disney.
Yeah, and to kind of touch upon Matthew's last point, how there are certain franchises like Harry Potter and Doctor Who that Disney should not get its hands on, and I agree with Matthew on this. Here's the thing: competition is good. It is good. You don't want to have like as much of a Disney fan that I am, I don't want Disney to literally own everything. I think it was really great that Universal got the right to Harry Potter for their theme parks, right? It kind of gives Disney a little competition. It gives Universal something that like, hey, we have this big franchise too. You don't want one company to own every culturally relevant franchise in the world. You want to have a little competition at least. And I think that's good, right? I think it's good. I think it's healthy for the market. I think it's healthy for Disney. I think it's good for like Universal and other companies like that. So I would agree with Matthew on that. I wouldn't want Disney to own Harry Potter or the theme park rights to Harry Potter or Doctor Who. I don't want Disney to buy DC. I think you need to have other companies to own some stuff too. And I think it's just kind of like that competition fuels innovation and better products. And when one company owns every single franchise that's of cultural relevance, it's probably not a good idea. What do you think about that, Dre?
No, I agree. Agree with that completely. I think there are things that work within like Disney, like the brand, and maybe there are some things that kind of maybe don't integrate so well, but beyond that, it's the competition factor for sure. I mean, some of these other studios have to have some franchises of their own to provide some competition for Disney, and I think that's a good thing.